So, while at the Borderlands event, I did get to interview the developers and ask them what they had to say about this take on Borderlands and if they could address some of my concerns, including what they thought about that Randy Pitchford tweet that set the internet on storm. Let's get into it right now.
All right, so why don't you say and spell your name so I don't screw it up in the lower third?
Okay. I'm Graeme Timmins. It's Graeme, Timmins, Timmins.
And what's your role?
I'm the creative director.
All right, and yours?
Anthony Nicholson, Anthony Nichholson, and I'm the senior project producer.
Great. Guys, the first question I have to ask you, no softballs for me. Randy Pitchford got a ton of shit about the $80 price point. What was your reaction when Randy tweeted that? He's like, oh no, the boss said it again.
Randy is a force of nature, and Randy has done so much for Gearbox. That's why Gearbox still exists. Randy's really worked hard to make sure Gearbox is the success that it is, and he's always working the angles, and we thank him for keeping us in the spotlight.
What was your reaction when all that was going down?
Yeah, it's kind of like what I was just talking about, where how we feel like we are the community. Like he speaks like he is part of the community. Like he has everyone's best interest at heart. So what he was saying is he doesn't have control over that stuff. We don't have control over that stuff. And so I think the passion behind it is maybe caught some people off guard, but it's because he's one of the devs. He's one of the players too.
Yeah, I actually got to be at Gearbox. I think it was probably your old building at that time for Colonial Marines, of all things. I was at the little party, and I think I got to meet Randy. We saw the office and everything.
Oh, cool.
But today we're talking about Borderlands. Yeah. I do appreciate Randy's transparency and willingness to get into it on Twitter, but whatever. We're here to talk about Borderlands 4. I had a blast with the game. I haven't actually had hands-on time before. This is my first time having hands-on. Okay. Really, really enjoyed it. What do you think people are going to enjoy the most out about this version of the Borderlands franchise?
My big goal for this game was to make it the most seamless experience as possible. Not just the world being seamless, but no interruptions. So you get missions on the fly. You get mission rewards on the fly. You can change your character's action skills on the fly. So there's no excuse to put down the controller because everything is so seamlessly available to you at any time.
And how about you?
Yeah, I think on top of that, all of the things that we learned through and that we were able to double down on and make better from Borderlands 3 coming out of that game, coming out of the DLC, like our movement. I think as soon as you pick up the controller, and maybe you can tell me this, if you've been playing Borderlands 3 and you come and play Borderlands 4, it's going to feel kind of weird going back and playing Borderlands 3 because you have the grapple, you have the dash, you have the double jump and glide and all these different things.
Yeah, being able to zip around was a lot of fun. And also you have a speeder bike or whatever you want to call it, sort of like a Sparrow in Destiny. And you've added that addition to this world, and you're adding a mini map because fans have been asking it. Do you expect to be iterating like that even post-launch?
Oh yeah, I mean, we listen to the community very intently. I listen to all of the good and all of the bad. The combat radar, I think, is a great compromise for what the community wanted, because a lot of the feedback was about combat. And the radar does that. At the same time, we still have the compass that lets you explore the world naturally. Randy said it earlier. We want people playing the world, not playing the mini-map. We made a world worth exploring. It's full of things to do, see, and reward yourself through. And we didn't want to counterfeit any of those goals by putting a mini-map on the HUD.
Yeah, how do you feel about the rapid iteration?
Yeah, if there's things that we see that we know that we can improve on and that we can get better at, even small things like balance. We're always looking at those things whenever it comes to post-launch. But, if we talk about the combat radar, whatever we really kind of got down to what it was that people were really trying to say, that's when we came off with, okay, the combat radar is really what they're looking for. And as you can see from the reaction, everybody's really ecstatic about it and happy about it. And so we were able to kind of meet them where they were and improve the game in that way.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those touches where it shows that you really appreciate what the community's asking for and you're responsive. Endgame is always going to be a big concern with the Borderlands franchise, chasing whatever loot you're chasing at the end. How have you adjusted this one to solve from the problems of the previous game?
Well, we're not talking about endgame yet. I'll tell you what it's not. There's no mayhem in this game. We have a whole different path and solution for endgame that we're going to talk about in the future. We did a great job of planning for this, though, and how we build our action skill trees, and some of the activities that you'll get to engage in the end game. It's all like really well integrated and thoughtful for how we want players to engage. So when the time's right, you'll hear more. But I'm really proud of its design and what I think it means for the lifetime of the game.
What can you not tell me about endgame?
Everything.
What are you?
What he was saying though is there's also other things that we have done in the game that kind of move more towards what we would like to see. So like things like what he was just talking about, the rarities and the drop rates and balance that come with how our loot is, because we have so many more things now that you can do, and the licensed parts and with different shields, and now we have a rep kit. Like there's all these different things. We want to make sure that the loot chase feels really, really good.
What's something that you worked on in the game that you were really, really proud to see implemented?
Senseless destruction of businesses and roadways.
I touch a lot of the game because I care about it all. I'm really proud of the action skills and the action skill tree that I worked with Nick Thurston, our character lead, on. I happen to work on the opening map. I'm still a level designer at heart. So when the game comes out, those opening moments will be with me. So I'm proud of that. And I think the design of Borderlands 4 is the best design. I think all the things we've done between gear, characters, the worlds, I'm really anxious for everyone to see it.
Yeah, what's something you touched in the game that you're really, really proud to have worked on?
Well, I think all of the dynamic nature of the things that we have, that was something that I was really pushing on early on, because we knew we were going to have a more seamless world. So how do we make sure that things feel like they come naturally without pushing the player in a way? There's always something for you to do along the path, about going to a mission or just kind of leveling up and trying to find really good gear. On top of that, we have weather now. We have different critters that are in the map. Like a lot of games do this, but for us, my kind of goal for the team was, I want you to be able to stand in a spot and watch the world be alive, whether it's migrations or boss events spawning in, or it just changes and now it's snowing.
Yeah, so one of the things I have a challenge with in these big games where you have like this massive map are there's nothing to see. So it sounds like you've addressed that with weather, with visual elements to see. But are you going to do the thing where you send me to a mission over there, then send me back? Or have you sort of addressed that challenge from a design perspective?
Yes.
Yeah, we've addressed that. Like I said, that's why you can complete missions on the fly. You know, through our campaign, we've done a lot of leading you through the world naturally, but hopefully putting lots of carrots out in that world so you get completely distracted. Before you know it, you lost an hour doing all this great side content. You're like, oh, I was doing that mission. And then you can go and return to that. So I think we've packed the world full of stuff to do. It's not big for the sake of being big. It's the size that we wanted to fill it with content.
You know, one of the concerns I had also going in was about the level of humor that I would experience in this one. I know Borderlands 3, some people like the jokes, some don't, but I like those moments of levity. Will there still be at least some levity in the storytelling?
Oh, yes. You get it now more. There's a lot of banter on the player characters themselves and how they talk. And depending on which character you're using, there's different back and forth with the NPCs in the story also. But then there's also side missions. Our side missions are crazy. That's where you get a lot of the other extra kind of more goofy, fun, humorous type stuff. But even on our main path, fighting some of the different factions that come along and seeing what their struggles are and how they deal with them, and a lot of it is through comedy.
That's great. Have you found it to be just humorous enough?
Absolutely. Like Borderlands, humor is incredibly important to Borderlands. We're not losing that, but we're grounding that humor in the world as opposed to like outside of the game in terms of like memes or popular culture. Instead, we're still making the moments funny and humorous, but within the context of the world and the characters within that world. And then outside of that, you know, we wanted to have a more grounded campaign with stakes that is still broken up with levity. But then, as Anthony mentioned, we have some fantastic side missions that are just pure humor the whole time, that you have those characters that only would live in a Borderlands game. Those are still absolutely all over Kairos. We've not lost that.
You're getting closer to launch. It's later this year, obviously in the fall. How are you feeling right now with the current build that you're playing on?
I feel really good about it. Like Randy has said it before, but we're in the best spot that we've ever been in whenever it comes to launching a game at this point. And so the team back home and Graeme and I in between, you know, doing this and last night, you know, doing the things that we can, to make sure that we're getting everything buttoned up and tightened and feeling really good with the time that we have to really polish it and give everybody the experience that they're hoping for.
Yeah, Graham, how are you feeling? Like you got servers to worry about, all this stress.
I'm excited. I'm anxious for people to play it and come to their own conclusions. I'm very proud of the game. I'm proud of the team. We've worked really hard to elevate all parts of Borderlands with this one, from the first-person side to the RPG side, the quality of life, things like you mentioned with the Digirunner being on the fly. We've done everything we can to make this the best Borderlands and the definitive Borderlands experience, and I'm really proud of that, and I'm anxious for everyone else to see it for themselves.
What methodology do you use to keep the gunplay fresh? Because guns are the most important thing, I would say, in terms of Borderlands gameplay. How do you keep those interesting and unique with each new entry? I can let you start, Graham.
It gets tougher because we've done so much.
Yeah.
But again, we really try to find weapon fantasies or styles and how we can integrate them into our loops. So, we have the Order this time around with a charge-up style. We wanted to make sure that each manufacturer has its own vibe and style of gunplay, while still being inventive and not like off-putting. And each game we do more and more, so we have to be more inventive. But I think we've done a great job this time of taking mechanics that feel unique and special against every other manufacturer.
How about you with the guns?
Yeah, I think whenever you look at our licensed parts system and the ability to take the things that people know and love already, like a Jacobs and a Tediore and a Maliwan, and smash them all together, that right there, and now you have all of these permutations that you can continue to see drop out in the world that are different and have different stats and buffs and things like that, really adds and kicks it up another notch on top of the things that we already know
Citizens
people love
are
to be able to do.
reminded that our city is
I have one more?
safe.
Okay,
and lit.
so if there's one
That
thing
should
that you
always
really
be
want
described
players to
as
experience in the game, what's like a favorite mission or a favorite moment that you're like, I really hope people don't miss this?
There are a lot of side missions. Side missions really are important to Borderlands, and there's a lot of humor. Claptrap returns in some of them. There's a few in Terminus Range. About Flat Kairoser is one of them, and actually a number of the side missions in Dominion also have some multiple chain missions. They have some really cool stories. So when you get to Dominion, don't skip. There's lots of great content in side missions.
What about you? Can you give me a hint of somewhere to hunt for cool stuff?
Yeah, even within the Fate Fields itself, once the players get in there and they jump in and start playing the game for a few hours, there's some of those side missions in there that are a little bit more raunchy. And, the funny
one. There's one that's not in this build that you guys will come across later. Yeah.
But there's that one. But then also in this build, there's one where Claptrap basically takes you down memory lane. And it's really a touching moment for Claptrap, but also it's good if you're a longtime fan of the series and you get to see the path and the maturity of Claptrap, but also hearkening back to some of the mementos that he uses throughout that mission.
All right, guys. Well, a rock concert's about to start literally behind us, so I think we're all going to jam out to that for a little bit. Thank you for making the time. Very excited about Borderlands 4. Can't wait to see what you've done.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, that was my interview with the Borderlands 4 devs. A huge thank you to 2K and the Borderlands team for having me out to play the game. I had a great time. I'm more excited about the game than ever before, and I hope you'll check it out too. So I have people to play with. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell if you like my content and you want to support, know when my content goes live. Thank you so much for watching. Big thank you to the members, Christopher Reddy, Philaroni, Spingetter, and Aries EMS for supporting. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm going to get out of here, but if you want to see my Borderlands 4 gameplay impressions, you can check it out right here, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.